This video is going to be about goals. It might not sound important, but goals play an enormous role in your success. Professional athletes, millionaire entrepreneurs, A-list actors, everyone you see who is successful sets goals. A lot of you probably know this already about me, but throughout the last 10 years of my life, I transformed from a shy and timid guy who grew up in a poor family to being the CEO of a fast-growing startup who just bought his mom her first car. I didn't do this by just trying a bunch of things and then seeing what happens. I was able to be successful by setting goals. I'll give you a personal example. When I was younger, I had terrible social anxiety. I'm talking about gut-wrenching, voice-shaking, stomach aching, literally crippling anxiety. If I wanted to talk to a classmate to borrow a pencil, my anxiety would tell me not to because that person would think that I'm an idiot. If I wanted to raise my hand to ask a question, my anxiety told me I'd embarrass myself. If I got the wrong order at a restaurant, my anxiety would get me not to say a word about it and just eat the wrong order. My anxiety was preventing me from living life on my own terms. I knew this was a problem, and for years I tried to fix it by doing random things that I would read about. I would force myself to occasionally talk to people, practice in front of a mirror, watch a bunch of lectures on how to get rid of this anxiety, but everything I did seems to only have a very small effect on fixing my anxiety issues. In my freshman year of college, I thought, this is a new beginning for me, so I tried even more little tricks to get rid of my anxiety, and still nothing changed. In fact, by the end of freshman year, I had only made 3 new friends on Facebook, and it was only because we were in the same group project together for English class. They weren't even my real friends. And you've probably encountered something similar to this too. Maybe you're trying to lose weight, maybe you just want to quit smoking, or maybe you want to get better grades. You have this vague idea of what you want your future to be, but for some reason, you can't get there no matter how hard you try. Why is that? There are a lot of different reasons, but what it comes down to is that you don't have a plan. You don't have structure, and you don't have the right habits. Everything changed for me when I watched a Tony Robbins seminar and he started talking about goals. He said that goals are dreams with a deadline. Everybody knows generally what they want to accomplish, but unless you have a specific goal and plan, most of your efforts turn into a shit show. And in the end, you accomplish very little. When you set goals, there are some amazing things that happen. First and foremost, goals help to transform what seem like huge mountains into walkable hills. Whether you want to quit smoking or start a new business from scratch, a lot of times these things might feel impossible to accomplish, and it's easy to get discouraged. Proper goal setting can break larger, intimidating aspirations into smaller, achievable tasks. So second, goals help you hold yourself accountable. If you just say, I want to lose as much weight as possible, then you have nothing to measure and you won't know when you're falling behind. However, if you say, I want to lose 30 pounds in 3 months, then you have a better sense of how far you are along or maybe how far behind you are. If after 1 month you've only lost 3 pounds, then you can tell yourself, shit, I'm behind, I need to do something to get this back on track. The third thing that happens when you set goals is that it keeps you motivated and focused. You know exactly what you're trying to accomplish, and you'll have a better idea of how to stay laser focused and limit the distractions around you. Tony Robbins said that setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. In other words, the only way I could make my dream of being anxiety-free a reality was to set goals that will make that dream happen. This concept, it really clicked with me. So that's exactly what I did. Instead of trying a ton of random things I read about on the internet, I decided to set goals and actually create a plan. My first goal was a pretty simple one. Get 10 new friends on Facebook in 30 days. To do this, I broke it down further into a daily goal of talking to 1 new person per day. And after a month of doing this, I ended up making 50 new friends on Facebook and building a small social circle of close friends. Now, this might not sound like much to you, a person who probably has a lot of friends, but it was a huge first step for me. And from there, I continued to set bigger and bigger goals, and long story short, after a few years, my anxiety was no longer a problem. In the same exact way that setting goals was crucial to my improvement as a person, they are crucial to your success as an influencer and an entrepreneur. So let me explain what this means. You probably have this idea of what you want to accomplish as an influencer. Maybe you want to make a certain amount of money, or have a certain amount of followers, or you want to live a particular lifestyle. Now, there are two ways that you can accomplish these things. You can either follow a detailed, structured roadmap that has weekly, monthly, yearly milestones, or you can just wing it and hope that whatever you're doing this particular week is going to keep you on track toward your big picture goals. I don't recommend winging it because you're just slashing your chances of being successful. When you're first starting out, you need to work efficiently and effectively. You don't have the resources to do anything else. And it's a lot easier to be efficient and effective if you wake up on Monday knowing exactly what milestones you want to hit that week, rather than spending half of the week figuring out what to do with your time. The thing is, goal setting can be hard to get right. Think about it like this. When somebody asks you, what are your goals in life? What immediately comes to mind? Maybe you say something like, I want to impact the world with my content, or I want to make a lucrative living creating content about something I'm passionate about. Or maybe it's just, I want to be famous. In conversation, there's nothing wrong with any of these goals, but when it comes down to actually accomplishing something practical, they suck because they're not specific. Honestly, those things aren't even goals, they're aspirations, things you'd like to do or be. A goal is something specific, a real life benchmark that you can hit. The number one problem with most people's goals is that it's just not specific enough. If you want to make a living being an influencer, what does that mean to you? Does that mean making $1,000 a month? Do you have a family? So does that mean $5,000 a month? If you want to be famous, does that mean having 500,000 subscribers or having 5 million subscribers? What are you working toward? The first thing you need to realize is that a vague goal is a shitty goal. And that leads me to MAAT, M-A-A-T. Measurable, achievable, ambitious, and timed. These are the 4 things you should remember in order to set good goals. So measurable means that you can quantify the goal somehow. Simply saying, I want more subscribers is bad because you can't measure that. A better goal would be, I want to get 5,000 subscribers. Put a number on it. Achievable means that the goal should be realistic. If you've never built a business before, it would be unrealistic to say that you want to make $1 million by next month when your current revenue is 0. Ambitious is kind of the opposite of that. While your goals should be realistic, it also shouldn't be too easy. If you currently have 1,000 subscribers, you're probably not being ambitious enough if you set your goal to be 1,100 subscribers by next month. Lastly, all your goals should be timed. This means there needs to be a deadline. When do you want to accomplish it by? Now that you have a good understanding of what it means to set a good goal, it's time to actually do it. I generally like to look to the future and start big, then work backwards. So first ask yourself this: what do I want to accomplish in 1 year? Let's say your goal is to get 10,000 subscribers. From there, you can work backwards. Now ask yourself, where would I need to be every 3 months in order to hit my goal? So if you divide it evenly, you'd have to get about 2,500 subscribers every 3 months to hit 10,000. But since growth is usually exponential, the numbers would probably look a little bit more like this. Don't worry about getting this perfect because it's very likely to change. All you need are some rough estimates. You should look closely at your 3-month goal, the next 3 months that are coming up. With these estimates, you would need to get 1,500 subscribers in the next 3 months to be on track to hit your yearly goal. Now, maybe this is your first time doing this and that seems a bit high for you. It doesn't seem achievable. So maybe 5,000 subscribers in 1 year is more reasonable. That means your 3-month goal would be something like 700 subscribers. So feel free to go back and play around with the numbers until you get something that feels right. Before we move on, I want you to take a few minutes and do this on your own. Pause this video and write down your 1-year goal on a piece of paper, then figure out what numbers you would have to hit every 3 months in order to make that 1-year goal happen. Again, don't get caught up up in making this exact because chances are it's probably going to change a little bit. Just make rough estimates. Also, remember to follow Matt. Make sure your goals are measurable, achievable, ambitious, and timed. I'll play some elevator music while I wait. Now, let's move on to the next step. Do not continue this video unless you've written down your 1 year and 3 month goals. Now that you have those goals, what I want you to do is multiply them by 10. These are your actual goals. Why? 2 reasons. First, you don't know the shit that we know. You haven't learned what we're about to teach you. Once you understand the secrets of how to get more people to share your video, it will be much easier for you to accomplish bigger goals. Your idea of what's achievable will change once you learn everything in this course. So the second reason is because I want you to force yourself to be creative. Start thinking outside of the box, have a hacker's mentality. Getting an audience to watch digital content is not like losing weight where you have a physical limitation of how much you can lose per week. There is literally no limit to how much your video can get shared and how many people can watch it. You can technically get 1 billion views tomorrow if you really tried. So try it, test new things, innovate on what we teach you, and aim high. I'll be honest, when we 10x our goals, we don't always hit them. But no matter how far we are from hitting that 10x goal, we always exceeded by far what the original goal was because we pushed ourselves. We thought outside the box and we got really creative with our ideas. Again, there's no physical limitations to the amount of people you can reach. That's why you should always 10x your goals. With that said, as you move forward, remember to constantly evaluate how you're performing and check your progress against the goals you set. Setting goals is completely worthless if you just decide on them one day randomly and then don't think about them for the next few months. Get one of those giant calendars from Target and write out your deadlines. Hang it next to your desk so that you can see it every single day. Make it the password to your computer. At the beginning of every week, ask yourself specifically, what am I going to do this week to get me closer to that goal? If you're trying to hit 100,000 views in the next 3 months, plan out some time for you to brainstorm and research viral content ideas. List out the growth hacking strategies you're going to try. List out all the forums and blogs that you're going to reach out to. Map every single thing out that you're going to do for the week. Set goals, make plans. That is how you work efficiently and effectively. If you stick to the roadmap that you created, then using goals that force you to really push yourself and think creatively is going to get you to become an influencer 100 times faster than everybody else who's just winging it. And if you ever get stuck, just remember the hacker mentality. There's always another way. You just need to find it.